Thank you. You know, the events of the last 3 weeks have been quite painful in a number of ways. The view of the IMC, as stated by Minister Masuta, is that this decision should not have been taken, that the board, if it sought to correct any anomalies in the issues that arose when the Group CE resigned or retired, they could have done so administratively without them having to take the decision that they took. It's caused government a lot of harm, a lot of reputational damage. It has caused the ESCOM itself a lot of reputational damage. It has caused board members a lot of reputational damage. The Minister of Public Enterprises, the decision ought not to have been taken in the first instance. Now, it was not, once they had taken the decision and acted on it, as we say in our findings, without properly involving the Minister of Public Enterprises, we needed to follow necessary process in order to arrive at this decision, because we couldn't arrive at a conclusion prior to us following due process, and we have done so. We believe that much as harm has been caused, but the decision has finally been taken, which we hope will redeem the utility as well as the image of government. Sitting where I sit, I would not have wanted this decision to be taken in the first instance, not only given the ratings agencies, because I think insofar as the governance of state-owned companies, we should not only act correctly just to please the ratings agencies. We should act correctly precisely because these are public entities, and the resources which they hold on behalf of the people of South Africa. State-owned companies have a guarantee framework of up to 477 billion rand. 350 of that is allocated to ESCOM. What I would prefer is that this guarantee framework is used to strengthen the balance sheets of state-owned companies in order to support their capital investments and the expansion of their investment programs, rather than to be viewed to be financing inefficiency and other weaknesses. And so the issues of governance are quite important because I don't believe that there is something inherently inefficient in state-owned companies. I believe that state-owned companies as public enterprises can be run in terms of good governance. They can be run properly by well-capable people, particularly also because they pay quite well and they have got quite good incentives. And so it behoves those that are on the boards to ensure that the decisions they take are in the best interests of the entities as well as in the best interests of government. And that is why in our statement as the IMC, we indicate that the decision we've taken it in the best interests of government, in the best interests of the country, and in the best interests of ESCOM itself. And that links to the question that Paul has asked about the message to ESCOM debt holders, because we would want them to continue having faith that the shareholder will, when there are mistakes committed by the boards and the executive directors, that the shareholder will intervene to self-correct, to ensure that the good governance is applied, to ensure that proper decisions are taken, and if any mistakes are taken, we as the shareholders will correct those mistakes. The important thing for us, particularly in this very difficult economic climate, where we have experienced as a country some downgrades, both at S&P with regard to our dollar-denominated currency, as well as by Fitch. The important thing for us is to take into cognizance that the cost of borrowing for state-owned companies is increasing, has increased. It has an impact on infrastructure rollout, and with that, you have seen some of our state-owned companies, particularly Transnet, struggling to raise capital in the bond markets internationally. And so it's important for us as we work towards restoring our investment grade and reigniting growth in the economy, that we pay attention to the state-owned companies, particularly those that have a responsibility for infrastructure investments, those that must go out to the bond markets to raise capital, to also ensure that we support them by taking decisions that will eventually reduce the cost of borrowing, so that we can be able to meet our infrastructure investments objectives. And so we are taking this decision in the very best interests of the country, of the public, and in the very best interests of our state-owned companies as a whole, and hope that the decision will be received well by the bondholders. But let me also hasten to add, as I finalize, that the decision we are taking is not a reflection, and I think the entire discussion throughout this period is not a reflection on the capabilities or lack thereof of Mr. Molefe. He is well capable. He has proven himself in a number of his previous responsibilities. We believe that he still has an enormous contribution to make to the country in whatever way it will be going forward. But we are taking this interest in this decision in the interest of good governance. And there is no decision on our part about where he is going to go, Paul. There are no plans to appoint him anywhere else. We are just taking a decision in relation to his position at Eskom, and in relation to good governance, and what consequences there will be for the board. I think the minister has indicated that she is going to rotate the board. There obviously has to be some consequences with regard to the decisions that to this situation that we have come out of, and we also, much as there have been mistakes, we also believe that board members as individuals are very well capable people with enormous and extensive experience in private sector, in governance. The decision may have been a wrong one, but we are not reflecting on their capabilities and their competencies to play whatever role they need to play in the private sector going forward. But insofar as the board of Eskom is concerned, we are saying that the decision that was taken was unfortunate, and the minister has consented to that. She has directed the board to rescind that decision. Thank you.
Maybe just to add a point.